So let's get started. Hello, everyone. Welcome to our new format for the Open Metadata community meetings. It's nice to see you all here. Great to see all of your faces. Thanks so much for coming. So if you're new to our meetings or you haven't heard about the changeover that we've done recently, we're now moving to a monthly town hall meeting where we're going to go over some quick updates on our community, upcoming release features, and then we're going to spend the majority of the meeting will be a mini webinar on a specific topic, or we'll have guest presentations coming in. So this week for our first one, it's going to be a topic on data lineage. So let's jump in. Oh, and Zoom keeps bumping me out of the meeting so that I can't change the slide. There we go. Got it. Okay, so quick update on our community. We now have a total of 115 open source developers and GitHub and 1,517 GitHub stars. Now, in the last month, we have actually added 190 new members to our community Slack and 285 new community members that are spread across some of our other platforms. So as always, welcome to our new and returning members. We're so happy that you could join us. I wanted to take a quick second to welcome all of our new GitHub contributors in the month of October, or Hacktober. You've joined at a really great time for our Hacktoberfest. You may have seen some of our posts about the Hacktober Connector Extravaganza that we are running. So if you want to participate in that and earn $500 for your contribution, just talk to Pere or the team in our Slack channels and they can get you set up. But otherwise, thank you all so much for your contributions and joining us in October. Straight into our agenda. So for today, we're going to review some of the release highlights, some of the features that are up and coming. And then I'm going to hand everything over to Pere and Mayer, who's going to jump into the mini webinar on data lineage. Super excited about that, guys. So first up is going to be release highlights. And Harsha's here to fill us in on the exciting new features that is coming in. So Harsha, I believe you wanted to share your screen, correct?
Yeah, I'm going to. Thank you. Right. All right, I hope you can see my screen.
Yes, we can.
Okay, cool. Thanks, Marisa. So thanks everyone for joining today. And we are in the process of building the release 13. We are kind of halfway through and release is scheduled for November 22nd. And these are some of the highlight features that we are kind of going to share in point 13. There are many other things that are coming in, which will become, going to demo post point 13 release. Let me walk through some of the highlights, right? So one of the big features that we are developing is data insights and KPIs. Hope you can see my screenshot better, but the idea behind data insights and KPIs. When traditionally, users are installing any data catalogs or metadata platforms, they tend to be kind of passive, right? So from the beginning, we said with OpenMetadata, this is a platform where users can come and collaborate and improve your data. So with data insights, we want to present some of the key metrics on how your data is behaving and how your users are kind of growing, how they are using OpenMetadata to get best out of that. So what we are doing in this release is we will collect all the metrics about how much metadata you are extracting, how many entities are getting created over a period of time. So all of these details are presented in a nice time series fashion. And most importantly,
can you zoom in a little bit? It's too hard to read. I don't know if you can.
Yeah.
Yeah, make that big.
I'll share the entire screen just a second. Yes, thank you.
It's an exciting feature, so we want everyone to see it. Sorry for interrupting the flow.
No worries. Guys, sorry about this. I know the slides are pretty harder to capture, but let me share the screen. Yeah, hopefully you can see this one.
Awesome.
Yeah, I want to make justification to the Devyani who put together an awesome markup for this. So thanks for Suresh interrupting on this. And the charts that we want to present is like, as you can see, the overview and the entities that are growing. You can also see the type of entities that are coming in and how they are kind of changing over a period of time. And the most important thing here you want to accomplish with open metadata is, document it and kind of, call the ownership, and also recognize the important entities in your data sources. So you want to kind of capture the description percentage, how they are growing, right? And how many entities have ownership and how many entities are tiered actually. And similarly, daily active users and so on. But the most important thing here is we want to kind of nudge your team members to do the improvements to your metadata that you're collecting. The way we want to going to accomplish that is an admin can define a KPI saying that, hey, we have, let's say 100 entities. And out of that, as an organization, we should have at least 60% of them documented, owned, and tiered. They can set a goal coming into this page saying that at org level, we are targeting better documentation, better ownership, better tiering across all our entities by end of, let's say, Q1 of 2023 rather. And once that goal is set, we will send a weekly reminder to all the teams saying that, hey, your team owns around 50 of these entities, and your organization set a goal of accomplishing 60% documentation. And now currently you are at 10%. How about we move along and kind of improve this documentation, right? So we are keep nudging them and kind of keep improving the documentation, ownership, and tiering. That way, the platform is actually evolving and improving, on a week by week basis. As an administrator or data steward, you can understand how the data is moving to a better metadata, better descriptions, and so on. So we are hoping this is actually a great feature, and that will help you kind of accomplish the goals that you're setting out with open metadata. Jumping back into the slides. The next thing is Lineage. As you probably already know, if you played with open metadata, we provide a UI as well as the APIs. We'll go a lot more into that in the webinar that follows, but we are taking initiative to improve the user experience and UI of the Lineage. So one of the things that we are kind of doing in this release is when you select an entity, we want to show the traceability end to end. So in this case, I'm selecting the SKU as the column, and you can see the purple line kind of tracing across how this particular SKU is changed over a period of different entities, how the column lineage is taken effect. You'll get an clear idea by just looking at the UI. And similarly, currently we are kind of showing whenever you visit the Lineage page, whenever you visit the entity page, you go to the Lineage tab and see the end-to-end graph. From here itself, you can search for an entity and kind of browse through, expand the graph, and understand the lineage much more in depth. Glossary. So, we ship the glossary in point 10 and point 11. We kind of continue to improve by adding reviewers, by adding owners, by adding tags. What we want to do with this release is allow an ability to bulk upload the glossary. So we have received a lot of feedback from the community saying that, hey, I maintain my glossary in my spreadsheet or CSV files. These are like thousands of glossary terms. It's hard for me to go and create one by one in Open Metadata UI. We listen to that feedback. What we are coming up with is an ability to upload the CSV file to the glossary through the glossary settings page. Once you upload, you will show a preview of the glossary, and you can see that, hey, looks good. And then you say that, okay, upload my glossary. All of that, thousands of terms will get created in one go, and your glossary is ready to go. And you can also define owners and reviewers while uploading, such that we propagate these reviewers and everything to every glossary term that is being created. And follow up to that, we also have a review workflow coming up. We do not have marks yet, but that's currently we are working on. The idea behind that is, as a users, as stewards, as consumers, you can go and propose a glossary term that your team might be using. And by default, this glossary term will be in a draft status. An administrator can create a reviewer at the top level glossary, and that reviewer will get a notification saying that, hey, there is a person who created this glossary term, and here is a task for you to kind of review and approve it. Once they approve, that glossary term is available to use to tag any entities and also in search explore page. So these are the improvements that we are bringing into the glossary for point 13 release. Search improvements, we are excited about this. Currently, OpenMetadata supports a advanced search. We can go into the docs and look at the advanced search syntax, but this is syntax driven, not easy to use for non-advanced users. What you want to help with, for every users, they can go and click the advanced search, and they'll get a really great syntax editor right now, so that you can do a and/or conditions and different fields, and get your search and get to discover your assets much more quickly with different criteria. And we want to kind of give a shout out to Bloomberg, Christine Ozak, who helped us build this feature. The backend is already merged in. We are currently working on the UI aspects with the new mocks that they've been put together. We're super excited, and this will help most of the users to get to different criteria and get searched to the next level as well. And data quality. So we shipped amazing data quality feature right within the OpenMetadata. You can go to OpenMetadata, create a test, analyze a data asset such as a table, look at the profiler data, how the table is doing it, and immediately create a test for it, deploy it all within from OpenMetadata. You do not need to write any code for that. We want to continue to improve that data quality aspects. Some of the high-level features that we are going to ship: profiling support for data lakes such as S3, and freshness metric. Freshness metric here going to define how often your table is getting updated. We're also going to extract some volume, how many number of rows that are getting updated as well, and show within the profiler. And we will allow in the subsequent features to create alerts around the freshness as well. Going on to the next one. Security. Today we support around 9 SSOs. You can look at our docs, from Google to Azure, Azure AD and AWS Cognito, and many other SSOs. We have been asked to support LDAP SSO. We are shipping that as part of point 13. In point 12.2 itself, we shipped 12.1, sorry, and ship the basic authentication. So if you do not want to use SSO, you by default get a basic authentication. And now in the future, in point 13, you get LDAP SSO. From the roles and policies perspective, so traditionally, bots are kind of treated as a special branch of users where they have access to all the APIs and all the entities, just like an administrator, right? So bots are used in ingestion to extract the metadata, to do the profiler and everything else. With point 13, we are creating several different bots. Currently, we have ingestion bot that used for all the different workflows. Now, going forward, you will have ingestion bot, which will extract the metadata. Then you will have a lineage bot, then you have data quality and profiler bot as well. The interesting thing with that is you do not need to kind of give a flat policies, flat access control for bots. With the new changes, bots will have their own policies. For example, ingestion bot can create and update entities, whereas a profiler bot can only need to update the profile of a table. So they don't need to get policies for updating any other entities. Even with table, changing the owner's description doesn't need to be applied to a profiler bot. So going forward into the next releases, we want to take automation to the next level, and we are setting up a ground level work for that by providing policies for the bots level. Lastly, Schemas messaging service. So if you used Kafka connector or Redpanda connector, we extract all the topics in the messaging queue along with schema. We connect to the schema registry and get the schemas as well. So far, we are taking the schemas as a payload and just publishing that into the open metadata. Going forward, we want to parse Avro and protobuf schemas and extract the fields and provide that a nested schema look within the open metadata UI. Similar to, if you see in tables, you will have columns, and if you have a struct column, it will be an expanded struct column with a nested view. So what this will allow users is, users can now go and document each of these fields within your schema and also add tags. And most interestingly, we will support a search-based queries on the fields of the schema as well. So these are all coming into the point 13. So with that, that concludes point 13 features. Again, these are high-level features. Many other nitty-gritty details continue to improve upon, and we continue to roll out new features as well. So if you have any questions, we can talk about that. Otherwise, I'll transfer this to Pere and Mayur for data lineage webinar.